When I caddied for Phil at the beginning of his career, he made it very clear to me, I don't ever want to use a number 2. So, okay, no 2. So we're using 1, 3s, and 4s, and we were playing a tournament in 1994, the old Tournament of Champions in La Costa. And he was hitting a lot of wedges, which, you know, tears up the balls. We went through a lot of balls and get done with 72 holes and playoff with Fred Couples. So I go to the locker room because we're out of balls, and the only thing left are 2s. So your player's down there, he's amped up, he wants to win, he's playing in his hometown, and I got to tell a guy, by the way, we're playing with 2s in this playoff. He finds a way to win the playoff, and in every big moment from that point on, going on the next several years, he was like, give me one of those 2s. He was convinced. It went from his least favorite number to his favorite number in about a 20-minute period.
All right, we are back for another Digging into Design. Today we are at PGA Frisco, the East Course, the upcoming hosts of the KPMG Women's PGA, as well as the 2027 PGA Championship. We got a fun little match here. I don't know how much of a match it's going to be. I'm going to take on Luke Colton, and we are also joined by Bones here. And you know, you would think we'd make it a little bit more even, give me the world-class caddy, but we're gonna give Luke a lefty, Bones on the bag, and we're gonna play a little match here and see where we get to, but really take a look at how Bones looks at this golf course and breaks it down with someone that has an idea of where the ball's going. Luke, you played out here a ton, right?
Yeah, I've played out here a good bit, so I know the place.
You live in Frisco.
Yeah.
And you guys, for your high school team, get to play out here, right?
Yeah, once a week we get to play out here. It's really cool. Just like, I mean, our JV guys were out here this morning, so it's good that they get this opportunity to play here.
And Bones, you were out here for the senior PGA.
I was a few years ago.
Doing commentary.
Yes.
What do we got to do out here? What's the keys to success?
Length certainly helps, no question about it, considering we're playing 7,000 plus today. I think given the fact we're playing in quite a bit of north wind today, flighting your iron shots is going to help. I was noticing that Luke did that very well on the range, so we've all got our work cut out for us today.
You got to have a heavy ball today.
Yeah, heavy
you want
ball.
A heavy
I like
ball.
that. There
you
you
want
go.
to hit a heavy ball.
Very nice.
All right, let's go.
Good
Nice.
shot.
Good ball.
Well done.
Whoa. Hot start.
Just drop one, yeah.
I think just shore those bunkers.
Yeah. Somewhere we can generate a little spin downwind.
I think we gotta play to win here. So we're just gonna hit it up there. There's plenty of space up there, right?
Yeah, carry it 240 and we'll be in business. Carry the bunker?
You carry the bunker. All right. So it's pretty neat opening par 5 because it makes you make a decision. If you hit a good drive, like you're definitely probably going for it, but that left side is crazy bad, which is where I'm going to be. But this barranca cutting through makes the layup really interesting. You can just see how everything tilts this way. But it's so hard to hit it right here because of the hazard. I'll tell you what, this is one of those shots when you're a middle-aged former mid-am that hasn't practiced in a long time. When you get this right out of the gates, this is it's not what we were looking for. But you know, I guess we're chipping. They say the closer you are, the easier it is. Right. Let's stay on.
No.
When you give a read to a guy, do you give like a start line, or you just kind of want to?
It's interesting. Like I worked for Mickelson, and he would be like, he would want to know that it was, you know, 2 balls out. But if you caddy for Justin Thomas, he wants to know that it rolls over something halfway there. So I think it's, you know, up to the individual. What do you do?
Mostly start line.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good.
What do you see here?
Well, if it wasn't for the right to left wind, I would say it's going to go a little bit right about halfway there.
But not too much.
Yeah, not too much overall. I think there's a whole lot going on given the fact we got so much wind.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go a touch to the right. One up through one.
All right, Bones, let's talk a little bit about this new major championship venue. We're going to be seeing Frisco Fields Ranch a lot in the coming years. This year we'll see it for the KPMG Women's PGA. You covered the senior PGA out here. What are a couple things that stand out to you about this golf course from a major championship standpoint?
If the competitors get some wind out here, they've got a lot to deal with in terms of club selection into greens, you know, how aggressive they play, whether or not they want to play to the corners or where the flags tend to be for tournaments of that stature. I think that there's a ton to learn about the greens. I think lag putting is going to be huge. If you're playing in wind and in as much space as there is out there on the surfaces, you're going to end up with some 50, 60 footers. I think that could get really, really dicey. But I think fairway first when you get out here, I think it's very much a second shot golf course. And there's just so much to learn about where the ball is running off to, bunkers that visually, you know, are in your head but maybe aren't in play. One of the things that you're going to know at the end of the week is the person that played the best wins the tournament, which isn't always the case to me at some PGA Tour events where you can kind of fake it and get around and make a few putts and be there at the end.
All right, second hole. Bones, what are we looking at here? What are we trying to do?
Well, it looks to me like we need a number over that left fairway bunker to see, you know, what it is to it or over it. And if not, just blow something up the right side. Obviously, it seems to me we want to get the ball as close as we can to the green off the tee, given the fact that the second shot's elevated and downwind, it's going to be hard to get the ball stopped.
I'm going right.
I love it.
I'm opting for the right side. You know, should consider just hitting something short. Thanks.
So if it's uphill 8, 125, 120?
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, on this angle, I don't think we're going to get much help.
It's more off the right?
It's much more off the right than it is helping.
Okay.
Good looking shot.
Should be good.
Yeah. Good shot.
Thanks. All right, good for.
Thanks.
Gotta die.
It's a good putt. Good four.
Thanks. It feels like you gotta take some on in order to have a chance to go at it, right?
Right.
I gotta play right. I gotta play old man. I feel like I'm like the old man at the YMCA playing pickup hoops with like the 19 and 20 somethings,
Right.
where you got the two knee braces
Right.
on.
Double knee brace. I like that. Yeah.
And you're just going down into the post and working the mid-range game.
Right.
Like, you know, you're setting screens, doing the dirty work.
Yep.
Just trying to guard. All right, safe.
Good shot.
You like it over like right edge of that bunker?
Yeah, I like it. I like it over the right half of that first bunker.
It's interesting, you know, as someone who's played right-handed my entire life. Buns, you've caddied for major champions on both sides of the ball here. You like don't even think about how a golf course sets up for the other side until like you're in the group watching it.
Right.
I feel like.
When I was caddying all those years for Phil, obviously 25, and you know, you go around to some courses and you kind of feel like occasionally you run into a little bias towards right-handers. But we always used to joke that could well be the case, but the payoff was Augusta National, which is the greatest left-handed golf course ever. So many crucial shots there on that golf course, to me, are better for lefties than they are for righties.
What was it? Was it weird after, you know, 25 years with a lefty, then going to JT, where you're looking at the golf course through the lens of a righty?
No question, yeah. It's where, you know, where to stand and just the more basic things.
What was the one course you felt that, like, as a regular, that the righty just has such an advantage over the lefty?
Kapalua. When the prevailing wind blows, you know, so many crucial shots are helping right to left for the righty. And you know, Phil would get there as a lefty and you'd hit kind of like these spinny cuts on that wind, and these, you know, guys that you're used to blowing it by would be driving it past you.
Went.
Looking shot there.
Right.
That should be good.
Go, go. Thanks. Check out the raking job. Just so tour.
Look at that.
That's gotta be the most stressful thing as a caddy, raking.
I feel like it might be therapeutic. He's done it so many times.
Acceptable?
Yeah, that's nice.
Thanks. Man, that thing snapped.
It's tough to see the green out here.
Bones, you prescribe, I heard this years ago, the way that the sailors can tell exactly which way the wind's blowing is when you hear it evenly in both ears.
Wow.
That's the way a sailor determines the wind. Have you ever heard of that?
No, but I like it.
It's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you always know which way the wind's blowing.
Right.
You hear it exactly the same in each ear.
Very
Never
interesting.
thought of that. It's nice. Really good.
Come on.
Wind.
All right, good shot.
All right, good shot. Good speed.
Nice.
Try.
3.
Thanks. All right, is it just driver up the left here?
I don't think you can get through it, right?
Yeah, with this wind, I don't think so.
It's a tough hole.
It is a hard
Up the
hole.
left side.
Wow.
It's nice. Really good.
Thanks. Good ball.
Shot.
Yeah,
Thanks.
good shot, Luke.
Bones,
Yo.
is the worst prep for a caddy when you see the forecast with lots of different winds?
I mean, not if you've done your homework, you know? I think that this is the toughest times are, you know, inconsistent winds in terms of velocity.
Okay.
That's more a caddy nightmare, you know? I mean, if you're standing in the 15th fairway at Augusta National and it's blowing 6, and then it's blowing 13, and then it's blowing 3, and then it's blowing 19.
Yeah. There too with the trees. It's just, that's what I think, like from covering it on the ground, how hard that place gets when it blows.
Yeah. You know, back before they had the first 18-hole coverage there, I was caddying for Phil there one year, and he drove it in the first fairway. Ton of wind in, and we were back there hitting like 5 or 6 iron, which is pretty rare into the first hole there. You know, it's blowing, 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 and we pull the club, and at the top of his backswing, it goes to 0. Oh. We hit it halfway to the second tee over that green, and he holed it.
No way.
I mean, one of those shots where as many amazing shots have been hit at Augusta National. If they had footage of this shot, it would be pretty amazing for people to see.
Because that's dead long.
Oh my gosh.
Completely.
And it was to a back pin too, so yeah, it was double dead.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's playing at least 220. I say between 220 and 225.
Just, I mean, a little left of it, right? But not.
Yeah, it looks like there's some room there. Swing.
Just a little bit.
I wish my iron shot sounded like that. It went in the back bunker?
I think so.
Oh man, it's gotta be the adrenaline. You know, the cameras are on.
Starting to kick in. People are starting to chant your name.
It's good. 4.
Thanks. Nice putt.
Okay.
Good 4.
Good 4.
That's good.
Thanks.
It's a moment in time. Just surely a moment in time. And what would you suggest people do when they come to a brand new major champion? Like, how are you approaching that week versus one that, say, like you've grown up playing, or in the case of Augusta, you have, you know, dozens of years of experience?
I would imagine that caddies, if they have the week off prior to a tournament here, would be getting here on Saturday, Sunday, because there's so much to take in here, and word will travel fast about how strategic this golf course is and how kind of angular in a sense it is in terms of, you know, setting yourself up for success with certain shots. Because we are in Texas, imagine every potential wind direction, how it affects each potential hole location, and just run it through your head as you walk every single hole.
Is there like a magic number of how many times you need to walk around before you really understand it at a high level professional caddy?
Yeah, I think that at least twice. I mean, you certainly over the years develop an eye for certain things on the golf course, but yeah, walking it without your player is paramount. The reality is that being a caddy, you know, you want to be able to answer when asked. And when these players get here on Monday or Tuesday and they're playing it blind, it's the easiest thing in the world to say, well, you take it at that building or that tree off the tee. But when you're explaining the nuances of a particular approach shot into a par 4, you've got to know your stuff. And this is a golf course where there is a ton to learn.
So just, we like it at like kind of maybe just off the right, just off the left side of that, is that the condos or something?
Yeah, uh-huh. Just
Okay.
pick one of those trees out there and just trust it.
There it is. Oh no.
Settle.
Turn.
Sit.
That feature on the right's doing work. So do you like starting it at the flag knowing it's gonna kick it right a little?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. No. Oh God. Oh no.
I mean, from this far, are you thinking about a miss here?
Well, again, you know the course better than I do. I think a lot of it's got to do with, you know, setting up the angle
Yeah.
for your third.
A little right's fine.
It looks like that the right bunkers here or that's not a green sign bunker.
No,
though,
that's
isn't
not
it?
really in play.
Yeah. Okay. I just like it at a little right of the flag.
Yeah.
Swing there.
Thanks.
I was gonna do an 8-iron and have it kind of run.
Okay.
Open it up and that green's gonna go right to left, huh?
Yeah. Good shot.
God, I thought that was actually really good. Did it hit into the upslope?
Yeah, it kind of got eaten up a little bit.
Go. Slide that ridge. Nice. It's good.
Thanks.
Bones, what do you see here? Last 8 feet looks like it's pretty straight.
Yeah, I just think it's turning left to right in here, and it's just going to continue to go that way. I think it's a pretty continuous turn.
Do you think inside of here?
I think just inside of there, yes. Wow, to go left at the end?
Yeah, I think the
That's
wind
good,
took
Luke.
it.
Good putt.
So this is supposed to be I mean, it's basically a copy of 3 at Augusta. You kind of lived through the generations where the strategic decision-making on 3 at Augusta completely changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to go from guys hitting, you know, long irons or 3-woods, laying it up back in the day, especially with the old golf ball. I'm playing alongside those fairway bunkers to guys just smashing it now to virtually every hole location. And I think Scotty added a new wrinkle to everything there on 3 when he hit that shot into the bank, which I've never seen a player do. And I think now that's an available option that a lot of guys hadn't thought about, to that front flag there that's so dangerous there on Sunday, is to go ahead and pitch it into the bank. You see a lot of guys practicing it now.
God, I do not like that ball flight.
Hold it up, hold it up.
I think I cut it.
You're not hitting the Scotty shot? I thought we were hitting the Scotty shot. I guess the pin, if the
want me
hole
to.
was right here, we
Yeah.
would do it, right? We'd have to. Oh my God. There's a bad shot. All right. Just swinging. This was a good leave.
Before.
Thanks.
Man.
Disappointing for us.
Yeah, not the best there.
Really good leaves too. Like from where we were off the tee.
What'd you shoot?
153 flag, 142 to cover.
150. All right. I'm gonna see where the wind's coming. I think I feel it between each ear here. So we like 75. 70? Is that too much?
Good hit.
Shot.
Really good.
Good
Very
shot,
nice.
Andy.
Won't win.
That looks good. Great shot.
Thanks.
I grew up caddying, and my wife will be like in a room, and she's like, "How big do you think this room is?" And I just do I do
Exactly,
this,
right.
And I'm like, "Well, it's like 9 feet."
Yeah.
And she's like, "How do you know that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I can walk a perfect yard."
Right.
And she's like, I don't believe you. You know, she always like then makes me get a measuring tape out.
Did you practice facing bounds?
Yeah, I did way back in the day. I would go to a football field and shut my eyes and walk 100 yards and see if I could go, you know, touch line to touch line. Mine's a little long, so I had to kind of ratchet it in a little bit.
Did you get to the point on the football field that you would nail it?
Oh yeah.
Like right?
Well, you know, pretty darn close.
Just got to be a little left to right, right?
Yeah, it's going a little right. You see it okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's like kind of that last third it goes left to
Yeah.
right.
Because the grain's going that way too.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Settle.
Do it.
Drained
yes,
it.
sir.
Good
Wow.
putt.
Thanks.
Yeah, constantly turning that way.
Great too.
Thank you.
See,
Good try.
good rip.
Wasn't expecting to lose that one.
I think a lot of people would say that it's really forgiving off the tee because there's ample space. But the second you get off the fairway, I feel like it gets really tough. If it's Bermuda rough, you know, that's gonna be really tricky. But also you have those native areas. You're either in the fairway in what feels like a good spot or you're in a really tough spot.
I think that there's enough red paint out there, if you will, or penalty areas where it gets in your head a little bit and you end up playing away from them into the rough, whatever the case may be. But I think it's as much space as there is out there, I still think it's a little bit visually intimidating off the tee.
I always thought there were golf courses where if you played a carefree practice round at, it would feel really like wide open. But when you get into tournament play, all of a sudden, you almost see stuff a little bit more. Your awareness of what's going on the exterior heightens up a little bit. And this is definitely a golf course that I think, like, to the casual eye feels really wide. But once you start to have shots of consequence, it starts to get a little bit more narrow.
Settle.
Hang in there.
Soft.
I mean, I might be able to get it 100 yards up.
Yeah. You're playing 3.
But like I'm like, yeah.
That's gonna get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it just bounced kind of by where the bag was and rolled down.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I think right now 160.
If it blows a little more, a little less?
Yes.
What do you see out of this kind of divot? Like what would the
I would just
ball flight be?
think playing it a little further back in your stance.
Okay.
I mean, I would assume we might not get quite as much out of it as if we were playing from the fairway.
Yeah.
So the shot might play a touch longer. Sound like you hit that pretty good.
I hit it good. It came out really short.
Nice touch.
Thanks.
Really
Shot,
good
Luke.
shot. All right, pick it up. That's good.
Good shot.
Cover.
42 flag.
It's really good out.
Get up. Get up.
Good shot.
Really good. The wind hasn't been helping, like, hasn't been hitting the ball. I
Yeah,
feel
it doesn't ride the wind, really, does it? When we get that
15?
now. I'd say, yeah, 15 at a minimum.
15, 18?
Yeah, I like 15, 17 right in there. Okay, good shot.
Thanks.
How much are guys concerned with like slope, right? If we put this pin in play and it's firm, how much are you gonna change your target off the tee with a guy if it's over here where, like, you know, if you're coming from over here, everything's gonna end up over there, right?
Right.
So is that part of the planning and like getting ready for a tournament?
Well, I mean, certainly one of the first things you're doing as a caddy when you get to a golf course is, you know, you're going to have a really good idea where 4 or 5 potential pins are going to be, that being one of them. You've already looked at what the forecast is for the wind that week and what you may be expecting. And to your point, you know, if the greens are firm, this is downwind here, you're going to have to think, you know, extra long and hard about how to go about, you know, playing to a flag that's that tough to get to.
So you're thinking then maybe you're shading to the right more.
Well,
maybe? Or are you just saying, this isn't a go pin, let's see if we run a putt in, and if not, we walk away with a 4?
I think you do a lot of your work on Tuesday and Wednesday. There are certain things you can absolutely say to your player on Tuesday and Wednesday that you wouldn't be as likely to say on Thursday. If I'm caddying for Luke, I would say, boy, you know, you stick a tee in the ground right there, 15, 18 feet, you know, right of this flag here is a great place to be, putting back up the hill, et cetera, et cetera. That's why I think it's, you know, so important to get your work done Tuesday, Wednesday, and why so many players now fly into major sites in the weeks up until, you know, before the event, because you can get so much more work done than you can tournament week. Does that make sense?
Oh no, stop. Man, I was so worried about that.
Gonna bleed this one?
Yeah, you gotta get way up there.
Yeah, you gotta max it out. Right, good 4.
Scare me, Andy.
God, that thing was slow. Man.
It's a really good green though.
4 up to 1 up in 3 holes is tough.
That's how it goes.
That's the college basketball coaches call that the middle 8.
Yeah.
You got to win the middle 8 minutes, the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half.
Right.
Didn't win the middle 8. Good ball. That's really good. Hang in there.
So.
Took a horrible bounce right.
I don't think it's a horrible bounce. It's just everything slopes that way. They say the worst lead in golf is a 4-up lead. I think it's right here.
Got it?
No. Here it is. Maybe? I think so. No. God, what a dumb play.
144.
44. Wind didn't do a whole lot on the last one.
Yeah.
38?
Yeah.
I should have just taken the drop. You got to back me up. You got to use one of Bones' vetoes, right?
Use your veto.
We got to see the hero shot every once in a while.
How many vetoes do you think a caddy should get?
4 a year.
4 a year?
Yeah.
I feel like you should get 1 a tournament.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that, but I got 1 a year back in the day. 4 sounds like a nice number.
Should it be like a challenge where if you get it right, you just
That's
you
the
get an
thing.
extra one?
Challenge should be like a challenge. You're right. I needed a veto there, you know. Not that I don't think it would have made a difference, but Luke, do you just chip all everywhere with a 60?
Pretty much. I also have to like bump into a hill. What are you using here?
I got the 50, just because, you know, I don't know. I get bored if I just hit 60s.
Good hands. Right there.
Tough read.
Got the job done. 4 up to even, 4 holes.
What do you think it's playing?
What do I think it's playing? I mean, you don't have any hurt. I think if you might
help,
get,
I think.
if you hit a power cut, it could ride it a little bit.
Yeah. Or just anything on the green, I guess.
Exactly right.
Oh no. Go. It's a rip.
Shot.
Bunker. Shot. Really good.
Thanks.
Fuck. Oh, I was worried about that.
So you got to go on this way and then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's going to do that.
Just how much? It's gotta go more left.
I agree. You see this grain here?
Inside, right?
Yeah.
What a bad read.
Oh,
That's
too
good.
hard.
What a pillow fight.
Double bogey, tied the hole. Tough scene.
You know, maybe the break I needed, which I didn't think I needed a break on the after I hit the tee shot. What were a couple of the shots or holes that really stood out to you from going around it?
I'm really intrigued by 14, which is a blind par 5 tee shot where you can go ahead and hammer it off the tee, but so much strategy involved in what you do with your second shot. You can lay it up traditionally, you can lay it up long and left. If you were going to go for the green in 2, you're going to have a lot of conversation Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday about what it is you're dealing with. You know, the pitch of the green, the creek, which is incredibly narrow, but certainly very much in play. I think there's a lot to talk about on that hole in terms of what can and can't happen, good and bad. Certainly, if I was out here watching the pros play, that's where I would set up shop and just watch how they negotiate that hole. Good shot.
Yeah, it's hammered. Really good.
Thanks.
Yeah, good ball.
Shooting 258. It's going to play probably 5 or 6 yards downhill.
There's a creek. I don't know how
You-
far it is to carry.
Yeah, and I know when I was doing the senior PGA here, guys were driving it 30, 40 yards past where we are now, and we're laying it up with 6-iron in there because of the
Yeah, it runs
pitch of
away.
the green, and obviously the creek in play. So, you know, to me, you know, laying up here is a real thought. Oh, flag here? Let's see here. Front right. So let's say it's 250 front edge. I'd say, you know, 210 tops
Okay.
would be your max. Hey, good shot.
Like 5 yards from the front
Yes,
to the
I
pin?
think so,
Okay.
yes.
Well, sit.
We've had a few dicey pins today. Pretty tough.
Would you ever get someone to hit it over there?
Yeah, depending on the wind and the hole location, sure.
with like this hole location.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like 17 at the road hole at St. Andrews. I mean, I think there's a win in a hole location where you try and knock it on 18T, where you play left of left, if you will, in terms of looking at the green. So I think everything's in play in terms of what you use.
Yeah, idea of hitting it past something to chip it back up.
Right.
Kind of wild. 54. Bite. That is such a bailout.
That's a really interesting pin. I mean, there's not, if you go for it, I don't know where you would hit it.
I think the best spot is, it's what Joseph was saying, hit it over there.
Yeah, then you got all that green.
It's such a big landing area over there too. It's hard to miss.
Do it.
Great bird.
Good putt.
Thanks.
Putt, Luke.
Good read there.
Appreciate it.
Just glad I didn't have to hit the par putt.
Yeah, this is 280 exactly. That's without slope though.
All right. Good here?
Yeah, it works. I don't think I can fly at 280, but that's
What is it
makes the
uphill?
hole good.
12?
Go. Yep.
Think it over? Might be really good.
That could be the dagger. Healy. Oh. That's not good. Oh my God. It's like 60 yards, isn't it? What do you think we go? Go like 50 and just open it and swing hard? I can just, yeah, I have just the top. I have basically the little laser.
Good shot.
Great shot. Oh, you can't leave it short.
What a putt. Great hole.
Thanks. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So this flag's 18 on. So let's see what our total is. 213 total.
213. So it's pretty middle.
So 95.
Is it
Front door.
straight off?
Yeah.
You can kind of land it past that mound, right?
Yes.
Ride the window a little bit.
Yeah. Swing there.
Thanks.
Shot, Luke.
Thing landed really firm.
I'm only out on the weekends usually, but
God, that's like fast.
That's good.
Oh my God.
Whew.
That was
Want to see
gnarly.
more of the course.
We got to 17. wasn't how we thought we were going to get there, but we got there.
120.
No friction.
How much is this wind hurting, you think?
I'd say 5 or 6 yards. I think the question you have to ask yourself, given that this is a classic match play situation, is do you want to play left here, give yourself more green to work with, or do you want to take it on, he forced him to make 2 to extend the match.
I'll take it on.
Okay.
This is the classic. Has the guy you're playing done anything in the last 8 holes that makes you think that he can make it two?
Make it two.
Sit.
Ah,
Sit.
he's gonna make me make it two.
Good shot.
Did you go no tee there?
Yeah, I don't like tees with like short irons, wedges.
The anti-Jack Nicklaus right there. God, just dumping over the top of the ball.
Good try.
It's a really good putt.
All right, good match.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thank you.
Awesome time. What's the scoring on that?
We'll take 2 and 1.
Is it 2 and 1 or 3 and 1? If you concede, if you say good on the 3 and you have a putt for 3, is it 3 or 2?
I don't know.
See, we had the concession with Jacqueline and Nicholas, but these are the real questions. You were on Luke's bag. Yeah. What stood out to you about Luke?
That he has exactly what you want to have as a 16 or 17-year-old. Length off the tee and good hands around the green. And when we got to the range this morning and he was warming up, you know, the way he compressed the ball, he was hitting some 5 or 6 irons. You know, he made that sound, and that's always what I'm like, you know, looking for. You know, when I look at young players play, he's right where you want to be as a young player.
All right, we wrapped up here. 2 and 1 or 3 and 1 victory for Mr. Colton. We aren't sure. We're gonna have to get a rules official in.
We can go to the PGA of America and ask.
Yeah, we should.
We should walk and knock on the door.
If only we had Ken Tackett out here to let us know. I thought it was interesting, ebbs and flows. I don't think either of us had our best at the same time. It was kind of a seesaw match. What did you think about the wind and how that played into the match?
With the righty versus lefty, it was a big factor. I didn't play very good. The right to left wind starting out on the front 9, and then kind of got it switched to left-right twins and started winning some holes. So it definitely plays a big factor.
Bones, what do you think is the most interesting part of this golf course with high-level play?
I think that on this golf course, you've got the ability to really hide some flags. I think that could be really interesting. Certainly, we're all rooting for some wind when they have the big tournaments here. But I was just talking to Joseph about it. I think that green reading is going to be a really important thing at this golf course because there's some legit grain in these greens, and we don't see a whole lot of that now around the country given the types of grasses that are being used. I just think, you know, you're going to end up with some big putts out here. Again, big greens and playing in a lot of wind. I just think that the greens could be a big part of the defense that week.
We'll see the KPMG women's this year, and then we'll have the PGA in 27. But Luke, we're gonna have to have a rematch. You know,
I think so.
I feel like I let one go a little bit. Looking forward to watching your tournaments coming up, and hoping for a big summer for you. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.